Hey everyone, welcome back to another Stock Market Open Live. Well, here we go. We have Election Day upon us. This should be really entertaining. To start us off with Election Day, we've got Palantir up about 17% right now. They've been growing about 7% per quarter, expecting another 7% per quarter growth going forward between quarters, which is pretty good. That's annualized like 28%. Wall Street's only had them at about growth of about 22%. But they guided low in the last earnings set, just expecting 3%. And so when they came out with 7%, they just smashed it. And look at this, up 17%. Killer move right here. You're going to $50 right now. It's pretty remarkable. The next line, the next extension that I have for them really isn't until you get to 67. Who knows? Maybe that's where we'll get after you get through the $50 psychological breakthrough. A little bit of a give back here on end phase. You had about a 4.5% gain yesterday. Looks like you got a little bit of a give back here. Today, obviously, a lot of folks expect this one to move pretty heavily in the event of a Harris win. If you look at Super Microcomputer, a lot of folks looking at this one saying, hey, maybe yesterday morning was the bottom for Super Micro. Although you were flat yesterday, you're up in the pre-market by about 2%. HIM's up as well after earnings yesterday. Some people think this one can really run, although you had a little bit of give back there in the open. Somebody says, is the sound messed up? No, the sound should be fine. No, the sound should be fine. All right, so let's see here. Then we've got Bitcoin. All right, let's zoom out here. Yesterday, I suspected that Bitcoin was going to go under 68,000. It did. It went all the way down over here to 67,000 before jumping back up. Getting rejected right now by 69K again. Tesla, after being down 2.5% yesterday, is up 186. NASDAQ, pretty enthusiastic right now, as well as DJT. DJT, a lot of enthusiasm. Trump will win here. You've got him up about 8%. See, Harris just needs like an HJT or something, or what's her middle initial? I don't know. But anyway, NVIDIA up yesterday about 0.5%, up today about 82 bips. Slightly red there on Apple. What else we got here? Redfin yesterday up 1%, another percent pre-market. Ulta yesterday 166. All right, so let's take a look at some caddies that we've got while we sort of watch what's going on over here with Palantir, which is another incredible movement there in pre-market. So with Palantir, or rather the market in general, let's take a peek at what we've got here. So we've got, let's see here, tech stocks moving up into the open. High yields look to have an edge. Okay, that's fine. The big day is here. Oh, I did notice put call ratios move quite a bit. Let me see if I can pull that up. CNN greed fear. They have a pretty good index here. Let's take a peek at what we've got. So it's interesting. They actually show us in fear right now. And that's mostly because even though it seems like we've had so many green days, it's almost kind of like we can't really get things to stay up at some of these high levels. So listing us as fear here for that. Net new highs, you're not really hitting new highs. The breadth is really sort of falling off. Yeah, here it is. You see this put-call ratio beginning to really push up. I think yesterday this spiked up even more. It's not updated yet here. However, on yields, you're still sitting at extreme greed. So a lot more concern sort of on the greed and fear index. Probably election uncertainty going into... well, obviously the election today. We shall see. Okay. Let's see what else we've got. So, let's see here. AI stocks up into the open. Well, that's probably because of Palantir. And yesterday we talked about Goldman's potential outlooks for markets and what it would mean. Obviously, Bitcoin up, crypto up under Trump, down under Harris. AI actually more up under a Harris versus Trump was the suggestion. Okay, consumer discretionary is down under Trump was interesting too. That was from that Goldman report yesterday. So again, take a look at that on the main channel if you have not seen that yet. Okay, then we've got, let's see here. It's not actually terribly much in the way of news. Some smaller company updates, but nothing radically interesting. You've got Boeing ending their worker strike, which was interesting. So I think Boeing stock's up 1% or 2% here as a result of that. Yeah, there it is, 1.63%. And some frustration that some of the workers didn't get their pensions, but some form of negotiated deal still met. Okie dokie then. Let's see if I can get updated look at that put call ratio too. Let's see here. What else? Oh, and then we'll also take a peek here at Catalyst that we have. Let's see. Caddies. So obviously the election's a big one. Duh. After that, we have today, we're going to be getting ISM services, prices paid, and employment figures at 7 a.m., as well as at 6:45 we'll get S&P composite. So we'll get 2 looks into services, the S&P and the ISM reads. Those will be at 6:45 and 7. Tomorrow we only get mortgage applications. Thursday we get the Fed and initial claims, and then sentiment on Friday. Okay. So, and then let's take a look at what we've got on the earnings calendar as well. But let's write down some catalyst. Yeah, and that way we can document it all. Catalyst. So S&P service PMI 6:45 a.m. Then you've got ISM services at 7 a.m. Obviously the election today. Then tomorrow, mortgage apps tomorrow. Thursday, initial claims, wholesale inventories, and FOMC. And then Friday, U of M sentiment. And that's the November preliminary. November prelim. Okay, and then as far as earnings, let's take a peek here. Let's see if there's anything entertaining coming out. Global Foundries, we can look at them in just a sec. Oh, Super Micros today after the bell. Interesting. So SMCI after the bell today. That's interesting. So we'll take a peek and look at that. Tomorrow you'll actually get Celsius. Celsius tomorrow AM. Then ARM. Ooh, ARM's coming up. ARM on Wednesday PM. Wednesday PM. Then Elf Beauty. Oh, ARM. Qualcomm. Elf. AMC. AppLovin. Dutch Bros, Duolingo, are all Wednesday PM. Oh, and Zillow. Okay. Oh, TripAdvisor would be good too. Thursday pre. Datadog, Barrick Gold, Moderna, Warner Bros. Are all Thursday AM. That'll be interesting. Okay, then Thursday PM, DraftKings, Block, Rivian, Affirm, Trade Desk, Unity, Airbnb, Pinterest, Cloudflare, Toast, Upstart, Lucid, Expedia, Sunrun, oh my goodness, Bill.com, all Thursday p.m. Well, that'll be interesting. That'll be a busy day. Embraer reports Friday morning. ERJ Friday morning, and I think that's pretty much the week. Yeah, that'll give you the week at Caddies. It's interesting. Okay, well, that'll be entertaining. All right, so that's coming up. Then let's see if I can find anything on this put call. Oh yeah, here it is. So this is at least, I haven't independently verified this, but at least bar chart, which usually provides some decent insight on Twitter, mentioned yesterday put call ratio now sits at the highest level since October of 2021. When we look at probably ending yesterday. I mean, over here it says November 4th, but they posted this yesterday. So we'll keep an eye on this. We shall see. All right. We've got, what do we got? 4 minutes to go until the bell. Palantir chillaxing just a little bit there, coming off that 17% high. Did you get rejected at 50? No, you got rejected at like 49. Bitcoin. Oh, yeah, Bitcoin's popping up a little bit. Look at this. Very nice. Somebody says, Joe Rogan endorsed Trump yesterday. Yeah, he did. I don't know how much that matters, because really I think what you need is, I think this is probably an election that that will be decided by women who vote for Trump show up more or less. That's my take. And the majority of your Rogan audience is male. I mean, same for me, but I don't know how much it makes a difference. Also, the majority of your Rogan audience is younger. I think you peak out around 18 to like 26. It's interesting. You start tapering off with older generations. All right, very well. There's that Bitcoin. Look at that. Just these last candlesticks here. Nice little breakthrough, 69 right there. And Enphase basically giving up right now. It's yesterday moves. Joel says, you call me old? Well, it depends. Do you watch or not? So, let's see here. Sure. Rogan is huge for your middle of the road ideals. I don't know what that means. If you're saying Rogan is 50-50, I don't think if you make a political endorsement you could say you're 50-50. Kevin, what time do you think we'll know the results? Well, I think when Pennsylvania comes in, we'll have a pretty good idea. Pennsylvania comes in at 5 p.m. California time, so we're about 11 hours away from Penn, and so I think that's really what we're going to want to pay attention to together. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm gonna be live on it, obviously, but Pennsylvania is 8 p.m. Eastern for close polls. Georgia 7, Wisconsin's also at 8 Eastern, so 5. Michigan's 8 to 9. So really, Pennsylvania is gonna be a big one. If Harris wins Penn, it's gonna give Trump really big issues, and those results start coming in at 5. So I'll be live on it, I'll be covering it. But I think it's very, very interesting. All right, let's get the bell.
Ed Breen's predecessor. I mean, Ed Breen's successor.
Successor, right?
So what do you think? What do you think about when you split into 3?
It's possible.
What has been the category?
Sometimes you got to tell me what the tax basis is so I understand that ramification. Because sometimes there's a benefit to spinning first, letting it be there, and then knowing that there's an acquirer, but letting that time period go by so you don't get the capital gains.
That's a great point. You got to look into it.
It just depends. I don't know the tax basis.
Pentair and Xylem, I think, is like that company.
Let's get the opening bell here in the CNBC Real-Time Exchange. The big board, it's Hyatt doing the honors at the NASDAQ. It's men's health charity Movember. as S&P opens up about 10. Jim, one hallmark of this week, Goldman argues, is just everyone bringing in risk. We closed yesterday.
All right, take a look at this. Palantir holding on to about 14.8. You're getting a little bit of red, but then again, it was only up 12. It was up a whole 12 after hours yesterday, and so it's above that. All right, so let's take a look here. Enphase 2.3 to the downside. Supermicro goes down again. Tesla's up, but it's getting rejected over here. Look at this. I got a line at 247.69. And I'm not sure if oh, yeah, I get a little bit of a larger move to the down there on Tesla. But the Qs are moving up nicely. What's driving the Qs? It must be NVIDIA. Actually, Meta. Meta's got a nice little run here into the open. Yep, NVIDIA as well. And Apple. Oh, it's your Mag 6. Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, big inflows into the big boys. Palantir back to 15%. That's good. It's going pretty green right now. Tesla, look at that. Oh, it just skyrocketed right through that 247 line. Not bad. This is 247.69. Let's see if it can hold a breakthrough on that. Supermicro goes positive now. This is like a lot of money just flowed into the market. All of a sudden, everybody's like, last chance to buy before the election. DJT moving up. Mickey D's up a little. Palantir just gave up its 15%. NXP, this is going to be more of a semiconductor company on the side of automotive, consumer tech, less so on the AI side. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on how some of the hardware AIs move. Boeing actually goes down after their deal, which is interesting because they were up in pre-market. Win just dropped about 6%. Boy, Win at $90. I feel like it's been there forever. Let me zoom out. Here, let me go to the month chart. Oh, yeah. It just feels like that's sort of been like the little midpoint, and it just swings around that. Somebody says SoFi. Let me see here. Oops. Okay. So, SoFi up about, what do we got here? Almost 2%. It's pretty nice. Win recovering a bit. Palantir coming back to 15%. Still 2.5 on Enphase. Not really moving much here. Tesla is trying to push through here. Next stop, 250 right here. Let's see if we can get there. Look at that bullishness on Bitcoin. Really nice move on Bitcoin. And Q's going up as well. I had to wake you up. All right. So let's see here. Amazon's up about 44. Nvidia holding on to that 1.5. Carnival's up a bit. Coin's still under 200, but trying to move up here on the Bitcoin move. What else we got here? American Airlines, Airlines. A lot of green, honestly. This is a pretty green day. Pretty green day. Yeah, Alex trying to come back up. Oh, wow, how did HIMS go negative? You know, HIMS was up like 6% in the pre-market. All of a sudden, just U-turns. Somebody's taking profits on the open over there on HIMS. It's interesting. I wonder if that's because, maybe there's some impression of the GLP boost. And once that goes away, some of your revs go away. We'll see. There's Tesla. It's still trying to get to that 250 number. It's the fight for Tesla. All right, what else we got here? Let's see here. Well, oh, there it goes. Pushing to 250 right now. Yeah, it's almost there. 249.50. Come on. Let's see what else we got. Margin of error in election, thousands of votes. Literally every vote counts. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how the predicted... Oh, there it is. There's 250. Let's see how the election betting markets are going right now. So we'll go to Poly Market, Predicted. So Predicted has... Wow, Predicted flipped. Oh, whoa, the betting markets really flipped. Look at this. Donald Trump gets a flip over here on the right, undoing some of that Harris gain that she's had recently. Poly Market showing Trump 62%, 37% Harris, and Predicted pushing Trump up to 55 right now. Ah, that's probably why markets are moving as well as Bitcoin. And look at Tesla, 3% today, making up some of that lost ground from yesterday. Palantir, 16%. And moving up as well. Win still down 6%. Him's down a little bit as well. But Tesla's now holding that 250 line, and the Qs are up higher as well. Yields are pretty flat. I mean, you got about a basis point movement there on yield. So it's really NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Robinhood's up, Redfin's up, Carnival, Lemonade. Honestly, almost everything's up. American Express is up as well. Pretty good. All right, we'll watch that. Let's see what they're yapping about over here.
Emerson, because it is going. I mean, we
Fabulous
obviously
beat and raise,
right.
Buyback, and then closing Aspen at a good price.
Closing
There's a
what?
lot to like.
Closing what?
Aspen Tech, man.
Uh-huh.
This is a very good quarter. I had disagreed with them on that National Instrument. What can I tell you? That was the hustle. They got it right. Congratulations to them. It's a very, very good quarter and a really one of the best outlooks I've heard. So they're part of the redoing of the grid, which I know you think is a very important thing.
Yes, the grid is very important. Obviously, we talked a lot about it yesterday with that unexpected.
Tesla, 3.5, keeps going. Let's go to Doomers. They're being a little boring over here. NASDAQ, 70 bips.
25% on zero earnings growth. We took all that growth from this year and next year. And so we need something more. I mean, as much as 14% growth next year sounds good, at 22 times earnings, we actually need something more than that. So, and then we have this concern about our interest rates going to stay high. That creates the problem with the valuations. And again, I have to go back to the situation in the Middle East, which I think is only going to get worse, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think we can agree that there's always going to be uncertainty, whether it's political, economic, geopolitical, monetary, et cetera. But I do want to talk a little bit cross-asset here. Of course, we're speaking to you at 9:38 a.m. We tend to focus on equities, but you think about this election,
Tesla keeps pushing, almost up 4%.
the most impact. Is it equities? Is it the bond market? Is it currencies, for example? What should we actually be watching here?
SoFi, 2.5.
Well, there's so
Palantir's pushing too. Everything's just pushing up. I mean, with the exception of Win and HIMS and NXPI, Tesla just hit 4%. Boeing went green again. SoFi is almost at 3%. It's pretty good. Palantir, 17.5.
a gazillion percent. The interest rates are going to keep going down right into the end of the year and into next year. And that's completely turned on its head. Now people are saying, oh my gosh, interest rates are going to stay high. We have some people looking for the 10-year to get above 5% next year. My kind of feeling, though, is that everybody was on one side of the boat and they were wrong. We've almost moved a little bit too much to the other side of the boat, and I think that we could get a surprise here. In other words, I think interest rates could come down. Will that really be bullish for other assets? Well, it depends on why it happens. Again, if you think that the Middle East has died down and that we're not going to get any worse, you also have to believe that Iran is okay with. I'm sorry, that Israel is okay with Iran becoming a nuclear power. I just don't think that's going to happen. So if the bonds rally in a flight to safety situation, we have it's a whole different can of beans. So there's a lot of risk out there still. We usually rally into the end of the year in an election year, but there's a lot of issues out there that I think are going to keep people on their toes.
Matt,
Yeah.
thanks so much for checking in with us. Great to get your take. Matt Maley there from Miller Tabak talking to us just 10 minutes after the market open on Election Day. Coming up, Professor Wendy Schiller from Brown University joins us as Wall Street awaits the outcome of the election. Indeed, volumes, at least in the first 10 minutes, are a little bit light. We'll see if traders sit on their hands for the rest of the day. This is Bloomberg.
All right. So now what? Okay. Well, let's take a look here. Tesla looks like it may have hit a little bit of a peak there. Starting to rotate down a bit on Tesla after hitting 4%. Palantir keeps going. Enphase still in the toilet. No momentum on Enphase today. And certainly some Q's momentum here. Google's giving up its momentum, though. You got a little bit of a turn in the markets right now. I wonder if that means the Q's are also capping a bit. Yeah, at least on the 1 min here, Q's are peaking out a little bit. Google's a little bit of a leading indicator there, looks like. Nvidia also topped. Apple topped. And Microsoft is still doing decently. So let's see if this is just sort of a little breather here. Reddit, look at that. Reddit up at 113, up, what is that, 3.7%. Starbucks at 97. Dell, 142. Oh, Tesla's going back up. Look at that. Pretty impressive. Tesla and Palantir today. Kicking butt. And Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin. Oh, there's look at Trump Media Group. You know, it's probably what you're seeing in the betting markets. You know, the betting markets today are just like, oh, that's it. You know, Trump's gonna win. Let's see here. Supermicro. Ooh, this is kind of interesting. Okay, let's look at this. So, Supermicro failed to file 10K on time in August. Deadline now to file updated financials is February 2025. Without Ernst Young, that may be challenged. And if they miss the deadlines, they could get delisted. Could face delisting. Probably Q1, Q2. Q1, Q2 of 2025. Yikes. Sucks for them. Oh, this is interesting. Apple's... this is actually very interesting. What is this? Apple's major manufacturing partner, Han High Precision Industry Co. Man, that's a name. Han High Precision. All right. Anyway, just reported its, quote, slowest monthly sales growth since February. So that means they still have sales growth, it's just slow. Okay. Let's see here. Apple also reviewing push into smart glasses. Well, it's probably because the Apple Vision Pro is just very heavy. You know, it's one of the challenges with wearing this for an extended period of time. It's just they're very heavy. I like them, but you know, like if you go on a treadmill with them, it's impossible because you know, like that extra weight bobbing is just very difficult. So you have to have it in a place where you know you're not bobbing around, basically. Bitcoin's about to hit 70K. It's at 69.95. Tesla's holding on to 4%. Palantir's now at 19%. Wow. Look at that. Straight up on Palantir. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, S&P Global PMIs just came in. The composite came in a little weaker at 54.1, and services came in a little bit weaker at 55. S&P Global US PMIs, 54.1 versus 54.3, and 54.3 prior. I don't see that as a big deal. Services, so that's composite. And then again, services coming in at 55 versus 55.3 and 55.3 prior. So I don't see that as too much of a big deal. I don't imagine there'll be anything in the actual report either, but I'll look. S&P PMI. Palantir keeps going, now over 20%. So PMI, here we go. All right. U.S. private sector growth led by financials. Wow, that's good for like banks and your SoFi. Okay, responses. 6 out of 7 posted output and volumes, up from 4 in September. That's good. Financials returned to the top. Healthcare saw a loss of momentum. Consumer services activity picked up for the 9th month running, but only marginally, and at the weakest pace since the current phase of the expansion began. So, I mean, that's consistent with a slowing, but not a recession. A slowing, but not a recession. That's it. Renewed upturn in consumer goods. Where did they see that? God, of course. Oh, here it is. Production of consumer goods increased slightly, ending a 2-month period of decline. Overall rate of growth remained faster than all those except financials. So financials really kicked butt here. No, pretty good. That's pretty bullish. Bullish present conditions. And that's for October, right? For October. Okay. Palantir keeps going. It will not stop, it appears. Let's write that down. So that was S&P PMI composite and services. Perfect. All right. So that's a good one. What else? So those were the S&P PMIs. In about 12 minutes, we'll get ISMs. I don't think they'll make much of a difference. Bond yields are up about 1.2 basis points, so nominal give back after yesterday. Gold's up 27.57, about 0.5%. Bitcoin, did we just cross 70K? I think we did. Yep, look at that. 70,100. And DJT still pricing in. Getting a little bit of a fall here, but still pricing in. Look at that SoFi run. They probably ran on the S&Ps. The lead on financials there. I even mentioned it. I'm like, oh, that's good for SoFi. And so that came out right here when we mentioned it. That's just been straight up from there. It's pretty good. Let's see if that holds. Tesla's starting to consolidate a little bit at 4%. Oh, wow. The Qs are now up 83 basis points. And I think it's because everything's green. NVIDIA, small caps, SPY, Intel, Google, Apple, all up. All right. What else? Let's see what this lady's saying.
I don't think it will be a tie. I think if the Democrats can hold, particularly the incumbents in these swing states like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, for example, Nevada, and if that's enough, it will lift Kamala Harris up in those states. So I don't see it.
Ooh, Upstart's moving as well. Yeah, 7%.
History in the turn of the century, 1800, and Thomas Jefferson won that in the House. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. We have a constitution, we have rules, we have the rule of law, and I think most Americans do not want to walk away from any of that. And I think that in the end, they will do their very best to keep it.
Wendy, we thank you so very much for your time today. Of course, hopefully we know just in a matter of hours, maybe days, maybe weeks at worst, but hopefully sooner rather than later. Wendy Schiller of Brown University.
Oh no, we'll know tonight.
CoreWeave, one of the hottest AI startups gearing for an IPO. Details up next in our Wall Street Beat.
All right. So here's Upstart. And see, it's just now starting to top out a little bit, but you got 7% out of it. Almost 4% on SoFi and Tesla. Tesla is in that consolidation pattern right now, so it's probably consistent with I mean, you're gonna break up or down here. Either could happen, but like if I rode this, I'd probably be closing in the consolidation. Palantir 20%, also starting to consolidate a little bit, which I would probably also, if I was, had options playing on it, probably also close them. That's not saying it can't keep going, but when it consolidates after a big run like that, I usually like take the profit. Then you've got Q's 86. What else? Let's go to the bottom of the list here. Spirit, JetBlue, all the airlines are up like 1% today. Baba's back to $100. Boy, that had a ride there with the stimulus phase. Yeah, I mean, look at this. You shot up to my 118 line, which I had drawn before this happened, and then it just rotated right back down. Celsius 1. Dell 1.2. Dell's nice little recovery from its little $86 correction there. And you're up like more than 50% since then. Robinhood's also recovering after those earnings missed. I mean, you moved down to about 22.5. Now you're back to almost about 25. Yields, yeah, same spot on yields. Not really going anywhere there. DJT, 13.5. Enphase down 1%. Yeah, you can see that slowing down on Palantir here. It's on the average candlesticks. Same thing on Tesla. But Upstart wants to keep going. That's interesting. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see here. No, nothing there, nothing there. Meh. Maybe a bit of a quiet day. Not. Election's gonna be crazy. But in terms of caddies, I think the next caddy right now that we're waiting for is just about 5 minutes away. We'll get that. And Upstart, 8%. There it goes. SoFi's going too. Look at that. Bitcoin back under 70 there, just slightly. All right. Gold loves the uncertainty of a new president. Gold on average does better when a new president wins the election, but only after they're sworn in. When an incumbent wins, the precious metal struggles for many months. I kind of think gold's topped. I think bonds are next. I mean, unless you get a Trump sweep, then bonds are still going to get hit. But I think if you get divided Congress or a Harris win, you end up getting bonds that officially mark their bottom. And the next year of bond gains from this election, I think, will be pretty remarkable. That's my take. Obviously, I could be wrong. But my take is that this election, like, this is sort of the moment where I'd be looking at it going, all right, I make my decision on bonds today. We shall see. All right, what else? What else? Yeah, a little bit of an increase in puts. Yeah, VIX put calls. Let's see here. Investors seem to be positioning for equities volatility to collapse after today's election. That might be mispositioned. Usually you see volatility go up after an election. But then again, you see uncertainty removed. So I could see, okay, yes, I can make an argument either way. Right out immediately, it also depends on the time frame. Like immediately after the election, you generally have a big reshuffling. So, people make their candidate plays. And in my opinion, that's associated with a false spike. But yeah, I suppose after the candidate plays are done, a day or two after the election, then volatility should decline because now markets have more certainty than they did previously. Okay, I suppose that's fair. Fair thesis. So yeah, I would say after, 1 or 2 days after the election, the VIX should go straight down. That's into the end of the year. You would expect the VIX to go down. So okay. Let's take a look again at. I wanted to look one more time at Poly Market here and predict it. It's amazing how those odds have just been flipping so much, especially predicted. Real volatility there. Yeah, look at that. Just go out to like the 90-day. Oh, when volume on these predicted betting markets is just exploding. But look at that volatility here at the end. That's remarkable. And then over here as well. Now, what if I go to real clear? Wow, that's a lot of red right there. Different polling sources as well. Pennsylvania, Trump won ahead. Hill, Trump won ahead. Atlas, in Ohio, Trump ahead. Well, probably with Vance. Michigan, Trump ahead. These are a lot of numbers for Trump right here. Let me go to an average. It's an average of the polling right here. They still show Harris up 0.1% on the average of the polls. And the electoral map puts him at 108 toss-ups for the Electoral College. Nevada, Arizona, and all of our swing states over here, Pennsylvania, Mich, and so on. Minnesota, Michigan. I think it's funny, you can create your own map over here. If you want to do that, you can play around with that. And let's see here. What if you go... Yeah. This just slightly shows them in the lead. And then can we do no toss-ups if we remove the toss-ups? Sometimes they have a setting here where we can change it to no toss-ups in their opinion. But I wonder if they removed that. I mean, I guess you can just create it yourself, but no, well, it's gonna be entertaining. All right, well, after that consolidation, still rotating down a bit there on Tesla. Obviously, still doing really well, 3.5% today. And Palantir came back after that consolidation. It's coming back for more, over 20% now. Qs. Wow, look at the Qs. You're up 1%. It's pretty much everything. Yeah, because Nvidia's up 2% right now. Apple's up 73 bips. Wow. Very good. Oh, and our numbers should be out now. Let me see here. October ISMs. Ooh, that's a beat. October ISM 56 for the index. Prices paid comes in at 58.1. A little bit higher than expected. Employment actually comes up at 53, and this is for October. Ooh, the October ISMs are good. ISM services. So those are good numbers. Employment beats at 53 versus 48 at 48.1 prior. Pretty good. Then we have new orders at 57.4. That's a miss. Versus 58 and 59.4 prior. So new orders missed, but employment up. Prices paid 58.1 versus 58 and 59.4 prior. So down from the prior read, but smidge above expectations. Services index 56 versus 53.8 and 54.9 prior. Pretty good read. Now let me get to the document. That's going to be ISM services document. So if I go to the actual ISM report, I don't think that's going to be out yet. We'll just listen over here for a moment.
I speak, ISM services, the PMIs are a bit better than expected in certain metrics. If you look at the service index itself, 56.0, higher sequentially than 54.9, almost 3 points higher than expected, best level since April of 22. Now, if you look at prices paid, it's moving down. That's a good thing. 59.4 last month, 58.1, and even though it's only the lowest level since August of this year, it is moving in the right direction. If you look at services employment, 53.0, much better than expected. It pops up over 50. Last month it was 48.1. That's the best since August of 23.
And remember, these are the October numbers.
Orders component, 57.4. This one's sequentially lower, and that's not a good thing like prices paid. 57.4 follows 59.4, and it's the weakest, well, just since basically a month ago at August of this year. Yields did move up on some of the strength we saw, and with regard to prices paid, we did make a bit of progress. If you summarize today, maybe the most important issue that we have in front of us is that we continue to see yields, as Sarah pointed out, on the firm side. Currently, the high intraday move of late in 10s, jobs Friday at 438, we're about 4 basis points away from that. And remember, that close was the highest close since the first couple days of July. Don't forget, 1 o'clock Eastern, 42 billion 10s hit the public in an...
All right, take a look at this. So imports expanded for the 4th consecutive month in October. The index has indicated expansion for a while here. So this one's doing fine. Let's do... Yes. Okay. Wait. Come on, Adobe. Hold on one sec. Converting scanned page to searchable image. I just want to be able to highlight the text. The website was text. Why didn't I just save as text? Then I wouldn't have to convert all this crap. Well, that's all right. Hey, if it can do it, that's actually kind of cool. All right, let's look at some of the details here. Okay, let's see here. Index up 21 of the last 26 months with contractions in May and June. Respondent comments are that imports in October are reported to have decreased compared to the previous month, with a notable drop in the price of imported goods, particularly fuel prices. Oh, see, that's actually pretty good. That's bullish. Bullish drop in fuel. We saw this in some... Oh, of course. Of course Adobe crashes, because you suck. It's so freaking annoying. Gosh. I've like reinstalled that stupid software like 5 times. And I still can't find another quality option. There's PDF readers. I'm just gonna start going to Mac, and then I won't have this problem. All right, so this is good on the fuel prices, and so that's bullish. Exports. Okay. Prices paid by service organizations for material and services increased. Okay. So I'm trying to see if they have any comments on why, because the prices paid index is up. It's lower than the read in September, but then over here they're talking about import prices coming down. Okay. What else? Inventories remain in expansion. Employment expanded. Ah, it's because of seasonal. Interesting. So the employment's up because of seasonal. More construction requests, but slightly lower because people are waiting until the election. Okay, that's not uncommon. Dude, Bluebeam takes forever to open documents. Like, it wants to, like, run a whole, like, software opening process or whatever. And I'm not saying Adobe's better, but at least it opens fast. Bluebeam opens slow. And I don't even need all the tools it has. If it just had, like, a, you know, a quick start function, it might actually be functional for me. But Bluebeam is such a slow open. Like, that might not matter for somebody who opens it once and you're in it for hours, but I open and close these documents all the time. Material availability continues to improve. That's deflationary, right? So looser supply chains. Looser supply chains. Why is it lagging so much? 'Cause it sucks. That's why, Kevin. Port strike had an impact, but overall costs are not material. Monitoring inventories. Refilling was slower. Lower than normal. Business is good. Building backlog that's in construction. Let's see here. IV bag shortages because of the hurricanes. Let's see here. Revenue cycles are lengthening. Good sales, but longer service periods. Commodity pricing stabilizing as inflation concerns ease. Business is steady. Business is booming. Nothing's slowing down in utilities. Well, that makes sense because of AI. Interesting. All right. So let me distill some of that commentary. We didn't really get anything much that was unique out of the S&P. But in this document, we see hiring up due to seasonal hiring. That's not a surprise. Looser supply chains. Business stable, subject to election outcome. Fuel prices down. Sales cycles lengthening. And this all sounds consistent with sort of just a slowing eco, but again, not one that's like crashing. Okay, save that. Oh my gosh. Save. Jeez. One day they will fix their trash. Ooh, the Trump odds on predicted just spiked again. The Trump odds just went up another 2 pennies to 57 versus 49. I wouldn't be surprised if there's order book manipulation happening here. But do keep in mind, I'm going to be live probably around 11 is my goal. And then we'll just be live until there's a winner, basically. So I'll cover everything. I hope you join me there. I think it'll be fun. So what happened now after we got some of this data? Oh, wow. Yields just rose 4.9 basis points. That's crazy. That's how you create a recession. So we'll see what happens with the election. Well, the data's pushing everything up. Yields up, Tesla up, Palantir up. Bitcoin's still sitting at the 70K level. You're at 1% on the Qs. Nvidia's up. Everything's up, honestly, right now in anticipation of a Trump win here. And that's sort of been the consistent trend that we've seen. The exception of Ubiquity. Ubiquity's down 4%. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And then what's going on with DJT? Oh, wow. Look at that run, up 17%. Will I stream the post-election riots? I'll see. It says, we'll get a big crash if Harris wins. That's possible. Yeah. Somebody says, I still think a recession follows this election. I agree with that, too. I think this spike in yields is literally what you know, you have your last bit of spending here in the holiday season, and you have some pain. But not that that's what you want. I'd personally, for many reasons, would prefer not to have a recession. Wow. Crazy. Okay. Very well. So, I'll be live. Appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all later. You'll have a little redirect link here that'll redirect you to the election one. Hit the little remind button on it so you make sure you get the notification when I go live. I love you all, all right? We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Good luck.